Greetings, greetings. This is Body Culinary sending you all some warm, positive vibrations in the early day. So I'm very much a early riser. So I'm up early, already, shea buttered up, freshly washed my hair. I actually had a hair fail, so I'll share that. And so in the early morning is usually when I like to get a lot done because my mind is clear, and that's also a good time to share. So, by the way, if you like, feel free to subscribe to the channel. On this channel, you'll find information about starting your own garden, consuming what I call peaceful consumption, focusing on whole, fresh living fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts as a lifestyle. No labels necessary, as well as if you've ever had lots of acne or have very fine afro textured hair, and if you're interested in cultivating a personal movement practice. So those are the types of things I share here, as well as some motivation and inspiration. So feel free to subscribe and perhaps share it with someone who you think could use some value. So this early day, one of the things I'm just reasoning and contemplating this morning is something that 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds may want to know, may not know, right? And one of the first things is you will not always be in your 20s and your 30s. And so and these are some things, I like to say life wisdom is hard earned, right? And sometimes you don't want to wait until you've gone through a lot of traumatic experiences or received a lot of damage by putting yourself in harm's way in ignorance before you learn certain lessons. So, one of these things is you won't always be in your 20s and 30s or even in your 40s. And I say that to say, when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you're having fun. I'm not here to be a party pooper. Um, we do a lot of things to our bodies, and we don't think that we're going to have to pay the tab. But at some point, you will pay the tab. And these are some simple things we may not consider. We're going to pay the tab for running our bodies into the ground, not getting sleep, if we overdo our party stage, all the drugs and the alcohol that we put in. We don't, many of us think of our skin and our muscles, but we don't think of the organs, the kidneys, the liver, the spleen. We will pay for everything that we do to our body temple. All the things that we put in, even when we decide to change and upgrade our food and eat healthier. Some of us are doing it just to get healthy hair, which is fine, whatever inspires us. But the things that we put into the body, eventually, they have to come out. How are they going to come out? And it's better out than in, as one of my mentors used to tell me, because we'd rather things come out than they turn into a growth like a tumor or a cyst. Something else may be helpful to know. And this could apply to anyone, but I would definitely say speaking to my nieces or, my community nieces and so on. Or if I had to go back in time, and have a conversation with myself and open my brain and put some wisdom in there, is that the choices you make around your body temple. Health is cumulative, right? Disease or dis-ease can also be cumulative in the body. So a lot of the things we see pop up, and as we mature, all of a sudden it may seem like certain conditions or pain comes out of nowhere. But sometimes we may not know that there's a tipping point, right? You never know when that last burger or that cigarette could tip your body, the balance in your body over the edge. And now the body can't handle it anymore. These are things that sometimes we can't see inside the body temple. So there are tipping points. And I've seen from working with many clients, I would say, just like every 3 months, you can chart progress in your body. Some people want to do drastic diets to change your body without changing up here first. And I have seen firsthand people have numerous surgeries, but they never changed this. I've seen people do long fasts, but they never changed this. So many people that have had different types of surgeries to lose weight gain the weight back and more, as well as their bodies now, their digestive system and other things in their body are compromised. People don't tell you this. People may not share with you all the different surgeries now, that not demonizing it, but all the plastic surgeries. People may not tell you that a lot of these artificial pieces and injections, they drop from time to time. People don't share this information, just like many people. Hey, greetings, and my homies there. People may not share a lot of this information, but a lot of the staplings and the bypasses that I've known people personally to have, and I was always curious to see what would happen. So, in speaking with folks and clients, there's usually some counseling people get when they have a gastric bypass or one of those types of surgeries, but it's a small session of counseling. And so I've seen numerous people gain all of that weight back and more. And if we could take a moment to know how psychologically debilitating that is to the feelings of failure, success, or sometimes people may think it's like a get out of jail free card that I can quickly cut something off to change the body. And so, again, not to make it wrong, there's some people whose bodies have gotten to such a point where we've eaten our bodies. Usually out of anxiety and stress, we've eaten our bodies to such a point of deformity where the organs are collapsing or not functioning optimally anymore. And now the body is in a state of emergency, right? So we won't always be in our 20s and our 30s. So the health of your habits, I like to eat as much as anybody, but your habits are your 401, I like to call it your 401k plan for your body. If you have consistent habits, I reap a lot of the benefits of investments of habits I've had for years, right? Whether that was juicing, eating lots of fruits and vegetables over the years for decades, increasingly more and more. Definitely fitness is cumulative. So I'm riding off a lot of those benefits. And still, even so, you can still get an injury. Different life events happen. So the more you have habits in your back pocket, the better, the better. We may not think of all the chemicals that we're putting on one layer after another and after another. And I can appreciate a fresh face of makeup, but just this is an eliminative organ. So if you were to read a lot of the ingredients, a lot of the things that we're putting on our face. And now there is new technology, but still the oxides and the titaniums and the metals, a lot of these things are harmful chemicals. And so I've had different mentors, one in charm school, her perspective was that you're preserving the body by putting these chemicals on. And I'm not here to make anyone right or wrong. Ultimately, you are responsible for the experimentation and finding what works for your body, which is why I don't encourage folks to follow anyone. Your life, your health is 110% your responsibility. So I'm willing to take a risk and be responsible with my own body. But that being said, folks are not going to tell you. And I don't hear folks talking about, they kind of skip forward to talk about medications, maybe in the 50s and the 60s, but folks may not share with you when their body is just not feeling good. This can even be people in the fitness industry. People are not going to share with you all of their injuries, their surgeries, if they're taking certain types of enhancement drugs. People may not be telling you. Sometimes you may assume that somebody is quote unquote all natural, and they may not be. Again, not demonizing folks, but we're looking at images on screens. It's usually not real life. People may not tell you that all the work that they did to really reshape and resculpt their body temple. They may not tell you how much money they paid and what time they had to get up. People often want to see the finished product, but they don't want to be there for the work, because the work quite often is uncomfortable to change. So the more we can wrap our mind around it, there can be joy and exhilaration in the discomfort of change. For example, like in my own reframing my narrative over the years, I would talk to myself and tell myself I'm an athlete. So I didn't get to do the Colgate games as a child, and I didn't get to sprint. So I educated myself. There's some things I just took on and trained myself, researched myself, got coaches, got trainers. So I talked to myself and I call myself an athlete. Right. So those types of experiences I'm giving myself, but it's also challenging the soreness. Usually when clients come in, some clients will feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm sore. I don't want to train anymore. And sometimes I'll be confused. Don't people realize that discomfort is often safe? Discomfort is a part and necessary part of transformational change, right? People are not going to tell you about withdrawal, but I can tell you for a fact, all of your habits, you will have to pay the bill at some point. And I know we may not want to hear this in our 20s and 30s. It's never too late and it's never too early to start with good habits, especially if you intend on being a parent. Your body is going to change. And for those folks that are single, you are not off the hook, because if you don't have children, you want to be independent as long as possible and able to have fun. It's interesting to see many people in their 40s and 50s become very complacent. And it's almost like I don't want to call it early old age, but you hear people very I observe people very inhibited in their body. And oh no, I can't do cartwheels anymore. Oh no, I can't jump double dutch anymore. I can't do anything anymore because you've reached a certain age. So somehow imperceptibly we lose the motivation to want to play in our bodies. And I want to be able to play as long as possible. Injuries happen, life happens, sickness happens. Even with all the investment in your body, something else could still happen. There are chemicals in the environment, but I'd still rather take my chances with investing in my body temple. And then the last thing I'm going to say for those in the 20s and the 30s, I'm going to say this. As my godmother said to me, because I like to dance, she used to say, go out, and I know you like to dance. I was never a drinker, smoker, but I like to dance. She said, and go out and dance, but get home in time enough for your spiritual practices. And she didn't mean that in a religious sense. My godmother, who was one of my superheroes, sheroes, spiritual practices meant juicing, my exercise, my yoga, reading, contemplation, those things, those practical self-care / spiritual practices. She said, get home in time enough to do your practices. So should you decide to get into a relationship with someone, I would advise you as an auntie, I can officially call myself an auntie now, a community auntie, to never sacrifice your self-care for anyone. This could be male or female, but I'm talking to my nieces out there. My young women folks, or even my adult women folks, because some of us haven't had these conversations with more mature women. Your self-care is a priority. You keep it in your, what do you call it? Your spending plan, right? You invest in yourself, right? And it's worth it to pay money just to get everything for free. Sometimes, do you want a free heart surgeon? Do you want a free tax person, a free accountant, right? For things that are very precious to you. It's not always great to get it for free so that you can get something that's objective information, high quality information, something that's going to stand the test of time. So to invest in your body temple, probably your best investment, because the clothes, they go in the garbage eventually. The makeup, you have to wash it off. Relationships, they come and go. But you cannot get another you. Even your children grow up and you raise them to leave you, but you cannot get another you. So we will not always be in our 20s and 30s or our 40s or our 50s. So really want to encourage folks, and especially Afro women, to take the very best care of yourself first. It is a skewed equation to think and to keep taking pride in taking care of everyone else, but we're broke down productions. So that being said, create a great day on purpose. See you soon.